Loneliness. The feelings of sadness and unhappiness from social isolation. Loneliness is something that I've been struggling with a lot recently. Moving to a new state without knowing anyone was extremely difficult, and on top of that I was starting a business, which left me with very little time to actually go out and do anything. I found myself going down a spiral of working, eating, and sleeping, and following that routine every single day, not even making an effort to actually face my loneliness. I kind of figured that as long as I continue to live this busy life, my social life will just grow later. That was until I stumbled upon this very frightening study. So there was a study done recently that resulted in all these charts blowing up all over the internet, and this graph shows who you spend your time with throughout your life. Now all these lines are different types of people in your life, but the one that's really scaring me is the one that shows the amount of time you spend alone as you grow old. Honestly, I kind of just figured that as you grow older, your social life will always be increasing because you'll always be meeting new people and having new experiences. But I didn't even think about or realize that like everyone at some point in your life will leave you alone. Hey, are you free to hang out tonight? No problem. It's all good. No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. No. Yeah, that's okay. I have some stuff to work on anyway. What about tomorrow? Yeah, we'll have to find some time. Next week, maybe. Yeah, okay. So, how familiar is this scenario? Probably pretty familiar, right? I know that intro was really dark and scary, but that's because being alone for a lot of people is just like that. It's really dark and scary. Personally, I tend to worry a lot about what my future will look like, and that's why this dilemma really scares me. With nothing to do, I began scrolling, and scrolling, and scrolling. This is what most people resort to doing. Our immediate response to being alone is to distract ourselves by using things like social media, drugs, or video games. But unfortunately, I think these are all things that almost amplify your loneliness. These habits are simply distractions for us to not think about the fact that we're alone, and really depriving us of spending time with ourselves. I decided to take a second and simply be with my thoughts. I mentioned removing yourself from stimulants a lot in my videos because I think it's so unbelievably important to have these spots in your day where there's just nothing occupying your mind. Just a rest from the constant movement around you. In these moments, I came to a very simple realization. Being alone does not mean you have to be lonely. It's actually really simple. Most of us fear being alone because we don't like the feeling of loneliness. So, in order to conquer loneliness, we just have to figure out how to be alone without being lonely. And this is actually a really easy fix. I mean, there are so many things that we can fill our time with doing that make us not feel lonely. A very wise person once told me, "There's always more work to do, more people to meet, more nature to explore, and more gyms to exercise." This quote is a reminder that there is always improvement that can be done in all aspects of your life. And honestly, most of the time, improvement happens alone. Look for areas in your life where you need the most improvement and work on yourself in those areas. Eventually, you're going to be less lonely because you're going to be so busy working to improve your life. My favorite thing to do when I'm lonely is to play an instrument. Not only does this reduce my loneliness, but if I still feel alone, then I'm at least able to express it with whatever instrument I'm playing. It almost feels like a relief that I'm letting out my emotions and doing something productive at the same time. Music is one of the best things you can do, I think, at any point in your life. It's just such a relaxing feeling. Music isn't for everyone though. If you're having trouble finding something that you want to work on, take out a piece of paper and ask yourself, what makes life worth living? And just journal for a bit. Most of the time that will solve your problem. I think we often forget that time is our only finite resource. We forget that once we run out of time, that's it. Don't get any more of it. So why not fill it with activities that you love to do? Why not dance until the sun goes down? Why not create beautiful art that people can look at for ages? Why not work out every day to become the best version of yourself? There is no time to feel loneliness because there's so much that you can do in the limited time that you have. So go and make the most of it. However, even when you keep yourself busy, you will still probably feel lonely at times. All of a sudden, all the activities that you've been doing alone feel stale. You lose the motivation to go to the gym, your creativity begins to run dry. You go back to the same place that you were at before. Okay, it's time for the cold-hearted truth. Despite all your efforts to not be lonely by distracting yourself by doing what you love, you're still gonna be lonely. We're humans and we're social creatures. It's in our nature to have the urge to be around other humans, and that's why we get these feelings of loneliness. So even though we can't completely get rid of loneliness, I've found 3 ways that can really help ease this pain that we get from it. Number 1, learn to be okay with yourself. So many people are so afraid of just being alone with their thoughts that they need the constant distraction of socialization. But the thing is, it is completely okay to just be alone and with yourself. It's not just okay, but it's literally necessary for your health and well-being. Oftentimes we treat our friends with more respect than we treat ourselves, but shouldn't it really be the opposite? Or at least at minimum, treat ourselves equally to how we treat our friends. I've found that really improving your relationship with yourself can really impact the amount of loneliness that you feel, simply because you're okay with the idea of doing things with yourself. Take yourself out to eat, go to a movie, do anything that shows you that you care about your mental and physical health. Alright, so I'm in the cafe now. Decided to take some of my own advice. So tactic number 2 is to develop a curiosity towards loneliness. Remember that loneliness is just an emotion. It's an emotion that, like any other emotion, it comes and goes. It's not a constant in your life that will always be there. So I think that instead of trying to resist this emotion, which is kind of pointless and just creates this block in your energy, we need to try to develop a curiosity towards it and learn more about it. Journaling can help greatly with this. Whenever you feel lonely, simply pick up a journal and just write down everything that you feel in that current moment. This activity will help you become more in tune with loneliness, and it will make going through these moments easier because you know that it's just a temporary feeling. This habit also just helps you develop a better sense of self, and a lot of studies actually show that the habit of journaling correlates to a rise in dopamine throughout their daily experiences. So if you do this, you'll also be happier as well, or have more happier experiences, which to me is a bonus. So go journal in a cafe like I'm in right now, or just at home, go journal. And finally, number 3 is to just connect with people online. Connecting with people online is going to make a huge difference to how lonely you feel. And I'm not talking about texting or scrolling through someone's social media, but actually calling or FaceTiming someone. I know you might think that everyone around you is just constantly busy or doing stuff all the time, but the fact is that most people are probably in the exact same situation you are. It's just a matter of who takes that first step. Most people are simply afraid to take that first step to actually connect with someone else in their environment. It's kind of crazy to me that we're all connected literally at our fingertips, but loneliness is still one of the fastest growing epidemics that we have in this world. I think if we all just put a little bit more effort into actually easing this pain that loneliness can give us, then we can all become a more connected and better world as a whole. And we have all the tools to do this. I mean, like I said before, we are all connected at our fingertips. So use the tools that you have to your advantage and go face this rising epidemic. I guess in the end, being lonely isn't so bad. And although it used to terrify me, I'm honestly at a point in my life where most of my time is spent alone anyway, either scripting in a cafe or editing in my room, or even just watching the sunset on my balcony. I still want to be as social as possible and really surround myself with people that I love, but in the end, the idea of spending more time alone as I grow older, it just doesn't scare me anymore. It honestly just makes me value the moments that I have with my friends even more. And now I know that as people start to leave, I will be completely content reading a book, playing my saxophone, or thinking about what a beautiful life I've lived. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video sort of made you rethink your beliefs about loneliness and what it really means to be alone. Make some time for yourself today. Just you and your thoughts. Prioritize yourself. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. And that's how I'll end the video. Take care. Thank you for watching.